Hey, you guys, glass of beer here, the cannabis cook. Today, yes, this day, guys, we're going to cook these lamb shanks. Now, as you can see in front of you, are the ingredients that we're going to need to cook this lamb shank today. But we have a surprise for you today, you guys. We're going to actually cook this lamb shanks with our cannabis oils. That's right, you guys. We have some cannabis beef oil. My wife called it tallow. I just call it the oils that make the food delicious. Huh? How is that? Now, you're going to see your ingredients here. We got 2 fat lamb shanks. We're going to make a side dish of some polenta. And there's the cannabis oil. And there's the sort of vegetables that you might need. Okay? Now, here we go. Okay, you guys. Let me get started right now. All right. You want to take your tallow, which is beef fat mixed infused with our cannabis. All right. And we're going to place a generous amount in the pan to coat the whole bottom of the pan. And we're going to heat that up real nice and hot. Hey, you guys, a fun fact. Do you know we found out that animal fat is actually more healthier for you as a cooking oil than vegetable oil and even coconut oil? Isn't that amazing? All right. So now we place the tallow fat into the pan. We got to get it nice and hot and let it melt over. Now you see how easy that marijuana oil just melts with the beef fat? And it's a nice smooth covering and coating. Okay, now we got to place our shanks in there because we're going to brown these things, you guys. We're going to get them nice and brown before I, slap everything together. And you're going to see. You wait till the end of this video, you guys, and it's going to come together. And also, we got this recipe from a Greek friend of ours who was very interested in cooking these lamb shanks. And we liked the way he cooked them when we were in Greece. So we got his recipe. And if you guys if you guys can come up with a very good recipe for lamb shanks, man, leave it in the comment. All right, we'd love to hear it. All right. Now, we check to see if one side is brown and one side another. But we want to get the total lamb shank as brown as we possibly can, and it's heated up. But we're not trying to cook it, you guys. Most of the cooking is going to be done with these lamb shanks and will be in the oven. And you'll see that later on in the program. Okay, you guys. So we make sure, and now you got to remember something, you guys. When we're using the beef tallow that's infused with the cannabis, oh man, it comes out a golden brown. The smell is absolutely fantastic. All right. And if you would look up some health benefits to cooking with, marijuana oils and cannabis oils of different sorts, you will see there's a lot of benefits to this, man. And I'm gonna tell you something. I'm 63. And I suffer from a dislocated shoulder. And ever since we've been using, cannabis oils in our food, I have not been suffering from this ever again. And it really helps out on the lungs, you guys, because a lot of times when I was ingesting the cannabis, man, I was actually smoking it. And it's kind of difficult. And the effects is not really that lasting as if you would eat it. All right. So, as you can see, we're browning these cannabis pans right now. And it's golden pan. Fun fact, you can make cannabis oils out of most animal fats that you have, from pig to chicken. Cannabis oils goes good with that. All right. Now, we're going to sit up here and watch this fry. Okay, you guys. Now, if we were to flip it, we don't want to flip it too much because we don't want it to start getting soft and the meat to start falling off. All right, so we're going to flip it every now and then. Okay, just bear with me, you guys. I know this frying thing is a little long, and it's but we're getting to it. So we fry the ends and we fry the other end. Now, this is the most of the times that we like. Okay, now we got all of this good. You got all of this good beef. You got all of this good lamb, at the bottom of it. So we got to get it off. So now we're going to take our vegetables, okay? And we're going to dice them in there, all right? Now, here we go. Now, you want to fry them up until the onions will get kind of elusive. All right. Once they get a little elusive, and you smell them, and it'll start sticking to the bottom of the pan. Now, at this time, you can add a. Now, after stirring them up real good, we're going to add these vegetables to them. All right. And so you're going to add your carrots and your potatoes to this mixture so it can suck up all that good lamb juice, and it'll also suck up the tallow, the cannabis oils at the same time. All right. And you're gonna fry them up, and then it's gonna get a little funky at the bottom of the pan. And then after you do that, we stir fry them until we see that we can get the translucence, because you don't have to worry about cooking it all there, because necessarily it's gonna cook in the oven. All right, so now we put our aromatic vegetables. I call it the rainbow. We throw the rainbow in there, you guys, and we put a little bay leaves, okay, and and we put a slight little stir on it a little bit. Now we have to add our tomato paste, and we add the tomato paste generously. All right, we take it in, try to stir it across, you know, try to blend it in really nice, you guys. Now, you want the tomato paste to kind of cover mostly everything around the vegetables, okay? And it's going to get a nice little stick at the bottom of the pan. Now, here's the good thing. Now we start adding our other ingredients, okay? After we get us a nice coating on the tray. Okay. So, now we got to add our other ingredients. That would be the black and white pepper. All right. Hefty amount of that. Black pepper and white pepper is good for you. So we put a hefty amount of that. Okay, we put this Italian seasoning in, you guys. And it brings out the flavor. It makes it taste really, really, really nice, because it's got all the herbs and the spices. Now we have to put the garlic in. Now, the garlic is most important, man, because if you ever cooked the lamb in the old days and you had to have it really garlicky because the lamb taste was so gamey. But this is the new recipe, you guys. Now, here we go, the good stuff. We add the wine in. That's right. You got to coat it up the bottom with the wine, which will make a nice roux for this particular dish that we're making. Okay? And it's no special wine, you guys. We use a regular Montclair, just a box wine, a nice cooking wine. Okay, and now here is the chicken and beef roux. Chicken and beef broth that we had boiling on the side. And basically, we get it up to a boil, and we add the lamb shanks inside. And you guys, we cover that, and we place that in the oven for about we keep it boiling on the stove for about 45 minutes, and then we place it in the oven for about 2 hours. Now, while we're waiting for the lambs to be prepared, here we go. We're going to prepare our polenta. Okay? And to me, I would just call them raw grits. But my wife says it's a polenta. This is a cornmeal dish. And we boil it with some chicken broth, and we also add some of our, what we used in this, we used marijuana tallow. Not tallow, we used ghee. And we had infused some ghee with our marijuana oil, and we use this in the polenta. Now, you have to stir this around, and it takes about 45 minutes for this polenta to cook at a decent temperature. And it's a quiet stir for 45 minutes. Now, you got to keep stirring to keep it from sticking at the bottom. And also, to get rid of some of these lumps that you would have naturally in a polenta. So after 45 minutes, you'll see it'll become in a nice thick paste. And you guys can add water and adjust it any way you want. Now, at the end, some people put their butter in. But if we were going to put butter, we were going to use our own patented marijuana butter to go in it. Okay? So now, here's the polenta. Here we go. It takes 1 cup and then 2 cups of water, and you stir. Now, as we remove our lamb from the oven, as you can see, It's off the bone, ladies and gentlemen. You see how it is? You see, it's a big, thick soup, and it's off the bone. It is off the bone, ladies and gentlemen. Now, what we do now here is we let it sit for a little bit, as you can see, as we turn it around, and it's letting it sit. Okay. So the next thing we do to this, now after 2 hours, we removed it and we take the cover off, you guys, so we can put it back in. All right. So after sitting in the oven for another 2 hours with no cover on the top, this is what you get, you guys. Hey, how it look? See? You got to make sure you see how the bone is there, and it's kind of like off the bone at this point, you guys. Now, what we do now, since we got it all prepared, we're going to see if the meat is tender enough, and actually tender enough for us to remove. And we're going to remove this after we keep testing the meat. And it's so good, you guys can't help but keep testing it. Now, we take the meat out, we place it up. See how beautiful it looks on top of this? See that? That is delicious. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to reduce the sauce, okay? So we keep the heat on the sauce and keep it actually stirring and stirring and stirring so we can reduce this sauce so it can come down to make it at a thick consistency, you guys. Now, this might take some time, but don't worry about it. We'll get right to it. Now, here's the potatoes, and here's the lamb. Okay? Now, it takes about 45 minutes to reduce that sauce, depending on how much you put in there. Okay? So once this sauce gets reduced, we're going to add it. We're going to add the lambs for presentation on top of the polenta. Okay? See how good that looks on top of there? And you'd be surprised, you guys, the polenta gives it some browny flavor to it. And then we pass the oils, we pass our sauce, which my wife made, and we add the vegetables. And you guys, it's very, very, very good. That's our lamb dish, you guys. Now, if you guys can give us a better recipe, please leave your comments. All right, leave a like. Thank you so much, you guys.